The context to this video is, as you can see, she's a PhD student that dropped out of her studies to become an OnlyFans model. And I have some very strong opinions about what is going on here. So we're going to talk about this, but I'm going to try and I've never watched the video. I've watched about 30 seconds of it. And we're going to talk about this. Okay, because I think this is an epidemic that is affecting young ladies across the world as we speak. And I'll talk about some of my experiences with some people in the community around me, especially here in South Africa. So let's have a look at this. PhD student drops out to become an OnlyFans model. Let's get this on.
I've dropped out of my PhD. I've cried so much over this decision to quit my PhD, because it's a stressful decision, not that I'm particularly sad about it. I'll get into all of that in a bit later, but moving on to doing OnlyFans and content creation full-time, it's not just a career choice, it feels kind of like a gamble on the direction of my entire life. Some days I wonder if I'm making the right choice. When I open LinkedIn and I see the pages of all of the people who are my age, who already have 3 years into their careers and are climbing the ladder with senior level titles, it stirs something in me. I start to feel a twinge of jealousy, imagining what it would be like in their place. I've spent the last couple...
I already have opinions, but I really need to hear what she has to say before I say anything. Okay, your first reaction is she's pretty. She's obviously very attractive. Okay, I need to hear what she has to say, because a lot of the stuff she's already said I can relate to. Okay, so
couple of years in grad school, whereas many of my colleagues from undergrad got jobs directly afterwards. So I guess I will always have those advanced degrees with me. But I can't say that I don't like the idea of wearing a polished suit and walking into an office where I have people working with me and working on a project, or even the alternative route of becoming a professor and having students work for me, where I have my own lab and I teach my own course. And the thought of sitting with my team to come up with solutions to a certain problem, or even find something new, learn something new, and then applying that knowledge. And writing papers gives a sense of fulfillment, There's some sort of camaraderie in those environments and a structure that I think I'd enjoy. And of course, not to mention the outfits. I mean, come on. I have so many professional outfits that have never seen the light of day just because I have nowhere to wear them to. And of course, I keep buying them. And part of me wonders if I'll miss the chance to experience that life and that lifestyle. But then I start to think about some of the trade-offs. Those same people whose lifestyles I thought I envied are tied to someone else's vision and someone else's pace. They'll spend their lives working for a company, doing things that they don't necessarily enjoy. And of course, without the recognition.
My first thought, I have to stop. My first thought is this AI. Like, her eye movements are very strange. Is this girl real? I need to just check this here quickly. Okay, no, I think she's real. She's real. Okay, she's real. But she's doing some crazy stuff here. Why convexity matters in machine learning. What is derivatives? What is neural networking? She seems like she's really, really freaking smart. Regression versus classification. Intuition behind the gradient descent algorithm. Okay, she's definitely smart. So let's just... Because she's saying some interesting stuff about the way society structures work at the moment, and the current job market and style out there is very depressing, to say the least.
That they deserve. Their work might win someone else fame and wealth while they stay in the background, expendable. They'll constantly worry about getting laid off, planning their lives around their salaries, budgeting to pay bills, and likely renting a place to live or being tied down to a 30-year mortgage. Vacations are rationed and squeezed into limited paid time off days. My path, on the other hand, is different. It's freer in ways that feel both liberating and, to be honest, a little terrifying. I'm no longer bound by the expectations of an academic institution or the constraints of a corporate office. I can comfortably wake up each day and decide what I want to learn, diving into topics that genuinely interest me and not just those deemed important by a funding agency or a company's bottom line. And when it comes to research, I'm no longer bound by the pressure to publish for the sake of tenure or grant applications. I can write papers independently, not because I need to meet a quota, but because I genuinely want to contribute to something. Everything that I create will reflect my own ideas, my own creativity, and my own ambitions. And of course, the best part is that everything I build will be entirely my own. I'm not contributing to someone else's legacy or bottom line. I'm building my own brand and my own future. And
I don't know if I agree with that. I really don't know if I agree with that. I mean, a PhD in machine learning. It seems like she has a PhD in IT and machine learning from some of the videos that I've seen, like right now. I mean, I don't really understand what her motives are at the moment, because if you're looking for recognition, you can absolutely get recognition from creating some new type of tech or new type of technology or some new thesis or theory that gets proved and peer reviewed and put into the world, scientifically speaking. So I don't think I kind of agree with her on that. I really think you can leave a legacy even if you're working at a big company. You know what I mean?
And all of the effort that I put directly benefits me.
Are you trying to stream full time? That's awesome, dude. Very nice. Coffee time. I like it.
The rewards are mine to enjoy. For example, although my OnlyFans has been a side project while I pursued my PhD, I've been able to make over $1 million. With that,
There it is. You're going to pass up $1 million? I think there are very few people out there who would pass up $1 million if you could do something from your home. I don't know what she's doing on OnlyFans. Okay, she could be showing all sorts of things that you shouldn't be showing.
I helped my family pay off their mortgage, I bought myself a car, and thankfully I avoided taking out any student loans. Now I have an investment portfolio and I'm planning on buying my own house soon. So all of these achievements are just reminders of the tangible rewards of carving my own path and the freedom that comes with it. But even with this freedom, I am genuinely terrified. I fear not having that external competition, no one to measure myself against, and that it will make me complacent. Will I push myself enough without the pressure to outperform others? And of course, there's also the opposite case, that my drive for more will take over. What if I never feel satisfied, always chasing that next milestone, the next goal? Will I lose sight of myself and values in that relentless pursuit? Of course, I want to enjoy the life I'm building and feel the rewards of my labor, not just keep pushing forward endlessly. Then there's also the fear of settling. What if I get stuck in a place that feels just right but not great? What if I accept less than I know I'm capable of? And what if, in trying to avoid that, I push myself into something that I'm not entirely comfortable with, forcing myself to fit in a mold that doesn't feel natural? It's overwhelming, but when I look at the bigger picture, I know I'm better off than most people my age, or even those that are far older than I am. That's part of why I chose to leave academia. Just for some reference, a professor in the US earns around $100,000 on average, but the job isn't what most people imagine it to be, or at least it's not what I thought it would be. Instead of spending their time diving into research or contributing to new ideas in the field, most of their energy is spent writing grant proposals and fighting for funding, which, based on my first-hand experience working with several professors, These funds often go to those at more prestigious universities, regardless of whether they're more qualified. Additionally, their students often do majority of the hands-on work, and the professor acts more as an administrator. It's a life filled with constraints and obligations, not the idealized pursuit of knowledge I once dreamed of. So what about working in the industry? Well, the reality is...
Bro. Okay, we're going to talk about this. If there are any ladies in my chat, please, I need to hear what you have to say about this, because I'm a man, but I got some strong opinions about what she's saying here.
For all its allure of innovation and opportunity, is a world where the individual contributions are mostly invisible. The work you pour your heart into is rarely attributed to you. Instead, it pads the pocket.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. To be honest, her talking goes in one ear and out the other. Yeah, because 90% of guys watching this aren't going to be listening to her. Let's be very, very blunt here, right?
Pockets of the executives who sit at the top, taking the credit and the glory for your work. Employees are treated as interchangeable, expendable. Every job comes with that silent anxiety.
But she said she's never had a job. So how can she know all of this if she's never been in a job? There are jobs out there that can give massive rewards and massive payoffs and legacy, and you can build all of this within specific companies. You can become, invaluable to a company. So I don't understand where she's coming from. Okay, we have a lady in chat. I'm so confused. Her qualifications put her in a highly competitive space. Exactly. As an entrepreneur or a consultant, she doesn't have to work for an employer. Abso-freaking-lutely. That's the actual case. She doesn't need a PhD to pursue AI or machine learning. And B, doesn't have to be a professor. Absolutely. She kind of feels entitled because, again, she's kind of in the very small percentage of females, okay? And I'm trying to stay away from my male bias right now, but she's a very attractive female. Of course, she's gonna get further. You may not agree with me on this, but attractive people, especially women, can get further in life. I know that sounds like a really weird thing to say, but it's true. It's the way the world works. It's a hard to swallow pill for a lot of us, but attractive people get more shit. It's the hard truth that sometimes we don't want to admit to ourselves. And I feel like she's in a very small percentage of females that can get whatever she wants. She feels a little self-entitled here. I don't feel like she's really had that much experience in life for her to be able to say some of these things, right?
Of layoffs, the knowledge that your position is only as secure as the next quarterly earnings report. It's a precarious, thankless existence. One that...
To me, it seems like she enjoys OnlyFans, which is cool if that's her bag. But she has many options even without her PhD. OnlyFans makes more than most jobs. No, absolutely. I just feel like society is doing its best to push young women into objectifying themselves at a very, very young age, where it's more important than ever for young females to get into the STEM fields. Like she did say, okay, that she's not going to be able to push herself any further. She's not going to have anyone to compete with. She's not going to get peer reviewed because she's learning by herself. She doesn't really have any real accreditations once she stopped her PhD. She's just self-learning at this point. A knife-edge decision, right?
That I think would stifle my...
And at the end of the day, if money is all you want, then as Rock says, then it doesn't seem like she wanted to do a PhD in the first place. It seems like she just wants to make money. And if you want to just make money, then don't come in here and give me some song and dance about how you can't make it in the STEM field research or whichever field because you're going to give your legacy away, or you'll never make enough money, or you'll be expendable, blah, blah, blah.
My creativity and autonomy. I know that I'm choosing something harder, but in the end...
You're choosing something harder? She's choosing something... What? She's in the 2% of females on the planet that can do OnlyFans and make a lot of money. I'm just putting that out there.
more fulfilling. This journey isn't easy, but it's entirely mine. I wasn't born into a wealthy family or handed opportunities on a silver platter. Every step forward I take, every milestone I reach, will be the result of my own vision. That thought on its own is intimidating, but it's also incredibly empowering.
I would be happier if she just said, I want to make money. Because that is what is happening here. And that's fine. That's absolutely fine. You'll never make it in the corporate world, and all of these pitfalls that you'll experience.
A reminder that I have the freedom to carve out a life of my own on my own terms. A freedom that so many people will never experience because they're just too afraid to break the norms that are set by society.
Oh my God, you're too afraid to break the norms set by society, yet you are falling into a trap that society is trying to push on women. And that is just to objectify yourself for money. That's not a good statement to make. Am I being crazy here?
Society. And perhaps most importantly, I need to learn to be kinder to myself. I have the tendency to be overly critical, always pushing myself to do more, to be better. But I'm realizing that this growth doesn't always come from harshness. It also comes from compassion. And I know that if I want to thrive in this new chapter, I need to give myself permission to rest, to make mistakes, and learn from them without the guilt or self-punishment. This life I'm building is like a masterpiece in progress. Every choice I make, every challenge.
You just Googled her. Said she's made the first OnlyFans notifications robot or something like that. And she's uploading lectures on OnlyFans. How much information do you think the people watching her OnlyFans are absorbing? Okay, we need to Google this girl, Zara Dar. I need to do what Rox is doing here. Let's do some investigations. Zara Dar. The first one, Zara Dar is not on OnlyFans. Hinduist Times, yours are quit a PhD, Austin, Texas. I don't. Times of India is reporting on her. I don't know what's going on here. If this is actually, this is crazy. This is so hard to digest in my brain. I don't feel like she's given it a good shot. She seems like she's really young as well. How old is this girl? She's 24 years old. She's 24 years old. Come on. You haven't given this a proper shot. You are going to be just as pretty as you are now in 10 years time. Like, let's be really clear here. Whatever she wants to do, kudos to her. It seems to me like it's less about her not wanting to work in a corporate. It's more about her wanting to do whatever she wants to do. Fair play, just own it. Absolutely agreed.